Today, in Draw My Life, Paw Patrol, The Final Mission, Part 2. The day after the funeral, I was at my desk. I was startled by a big pile of files slammed on it. I spent the whole day trying to find suspects. There were a few leads. The only person we even considered as a suspect was Major Humdinger. Nevertheless, that lead wound up going cold real quick with little evidence to back it up. So yeah, I was hopeless to say the least. Day after day, the case grew colder and colder. I took time to try and visit the remaining Paw Patrol gang. I knew that it may seem a bit odd for me to go and visit them so often, but they were like family to me. I honestly didn't have anyone to really call family, and they helped me fill a void in my life. However, all of that was torn apart after I've gotten that phone call. It was around 10:30 when my cell phone started ringing. A little dazed, I stood up and answered the phone. Hello? Please help! I was immediately woken up after hearing that scream. We need help! Please! Kill! The line died after that. I knew that voice was Ryder. I immediately got up, grabbed my gun, radio, flashlight, and ran to my car. I felt that something terrible had happened, and I needed to get there as soon as possible. I got to their lookout tower in less than 10 minutes, and as I got out of my car, I immediately heard nothing but a deafening silence. Bad sign, I thought. I carefully maneuvered my way, gun in hand, to the front door. The door had been completely knocked off, with scratch marks on the front. Everything was either smashed to bits or strewn across one of the rooms. There was also deep scratch marks that covered the walls. I looked around and saw muddy footsteps leading to the back door. I immediately followed in his footsteps. He led me to a large cave on the outskirts of town. I made my way to the cave. I didn't want to use my flashlight so no one would spot me. I walked deeper and deeper into the cave until I noticed a lone torch burning brightly about 10 feet away. I looked over it and grabbed it. I made my way deeper into the cave again. My heart was bursting in fear. After about 10 minutes, I soon came across a large circular chamber of some sort. In the walls, torches lit up the room enough for me to get a glimpse of what was inside. On the ground was the broken and tattered equipment and uniforms of the Paw Patrol. What the heck is going on? I soon noticed a small corridor at the end of the large room with a door. I walked up towards it and slowly opened the door. The room itself was a lot smaller and darker. I turned on my flashlight and noticed a big rusted cage and a door next to it. To my horror, it was Chase, but he was completely motionless. It opened up rather easily. I immediately checked on Chase, and thankfully he wasn't dead. I wanted to just grab Chase and run out of the cave as soon as possible, but I had to find the others. As I tried to keep as quiet as possible, how I wish I hadn't. In the room, there was a huge tar-like beast. It was around 7 feet tall, with a twisted and lanky body. Its hands were long blood-stained claws that wrapped and contorted with each passing move. The face was the worst part. It had no features whatsoever, except a long gaping jaw, with row after row of razor-sharp teeth. Next to that monstrosity, the remains of Ryder, Sky, and Rubble. I couldn't contain myself anymore. I let out a small scream. The beast had noticed me by that time, and it let out a blood-curtailing scream. I immediately grabbed Chase and started to run at full force. That demonic monstrosity smashed the door down and started chasing after me with a speed that almost matched mine. I quickly pulled out my gun and shot it at least 6 times. However, it didn't seem to do anything. I dropped my weapon and just kept running. I heard the thing getting closer and closer to me with each passing time. In a desperate attempt to try and save both my life and Chase, I yanked my golden crucifix off my neck and threw it at the beast. The crucifix made it into his throat. The thing stopped instantly. It started screaming and yelling as it clawed at his neck to try and get the crucifix out of his body. But with no use, I took this much needed time to get the hell out of that cave as soon as possible. Once I got to my car with Chase in my arms, I sped and drove the road to my apartment. I quickly locked the door and went to check up on Chase. Thankfully, the only injuries he had were a few cuts and bruises. The next day, I quit my job, and Chase and I moved out of town. He didn't have anyone else. I later read in the paper about the remains of Ryder and the other pups being discovered in the cave, but no beast inside. The only thing that they found was a small burnt out gold crucifix. As promised, here you have the end of this creepypasta. Let us know in the comments what you think of the story and what you would like to see next. See you later!